My Dartmouth experience getting here was pretty unique. I actually didn't know I wanted to come to Dartmouth until about 2 hours before the deadline. I actually opened up my acceptance letter in bed because I was so convinced that I wouldn't get accepted. And so I rolled over after taking a nap and refreshed my laptop, and there it said, "Congratulations." And of course, I had to call my dad, and he came home from work and we went out to dinner and celebrated. I came from a really small town, and so I was nervous about going to a big city for school or going somewhere where I would feel like a small fish in a big pond. And I think that Dartmouth has, because we're a small school and because we're isolated, there are so many ways to feel like seen and known by your peers. So I want to shout out the Wheelock House, which has been basically my family for the last 4 years. As a first-year student, I attended my first Bible study there with a bunch of 24s, and I was really nervous and really worried about finding my people at Dartmouth and finding a community that shared the same values as me, and they totally took me in, and ever since then, I've just literally found my family through the Wheelock House. It's really cool to see how you can use the classroom as a tool to sharpen not only your intellectual skills, but your emotional intelligence, and using all of the things that Dartmouth has to offer to really go and explore and not put the identity in your grades, but the identity in what you want to do in the world and how you're going to do it, through learning in the classroom, to going and hanging out with your friends, to doing your readings and your homework. And it's really just taking advantage of everything along the way. I took this really hard linguistics class that one of the seniors at the time recommended to me. And he said that, "Oh, that's an easy ling class, like you'll do fine." And turns out it was extremely challenging, if not one of the most challenging linguistics classes that I have ever taken. And I was in for a rude awakening, but the upper class students that were in the class with me took me under their wing and mentored me through it. And instead of putting me down or putting myself down even, I was able to grow through that class, and that ended up becoming a linguistics major. A piece of advice that I would give an incoming student who is nervous about Dartmouth, just like I was, is do it scared. My best example of this is when I went to New Zealand and the Cook Islands with the linguistics department on the foreign study program. I saw the email list of my cohort of 10 students and realized that I was the only 26. I was the only sophomore at the time. The rest were 24s and 25s. And so I was the youngest on the program. I had never been out of the country before, and I got there and I met some of my closest friends now, who are coming to my wedding actually, and just getting to build relationships even though I was forced to, in a way, and doing it even though I was scared and nervous, and finding things that I enjoyed even in those moments. And that experience in New Zealand changed my life forever, and I will always be grateful that I did it even though I was scared. Senior year is a very interesting time to be on campus because you're experiencing a lot of lasts, but you have so many firsts to look forward to. And so it really is the definition of bittersweet, where you have your last bonfire with your friends, but it's also in the distance is your first bonfire as an alum when you come back, and you get to tell all your friends about your new job or your spouse or your kids or whatever it may be. So there really is so much to look forward to, but at the same time, I'm trying to soak up every little moment of Dartmouth that I can, and really trying to take the time to be present and do all the last things, really buy into the senior year experience, and just soak up the time with my friends that I have left.